Hi everyone, this is Group M6. We are presenting you our analysis of Beyond Meat. Beyond Meat was founded in 2009 by Ethan Brown, and they bought its first product in the United States in 2012. The company got a huge investment from Bill Gates, McDonald's CEO, and Tyson Foods. The company produced animal-free meat that look, cook, and taste just like real meat. It is the first plant-based meat substitute to go public, and according to the Good Food Institute, Beyond Meat obtained the highest revenue in the United States retails among plant-based meat substitutes. As of last March, Beyond Meat products are available in over 18,000 retails and 80 countries. Now, I will do an industry analysis based on the 5-force framework. We start at the threat of new entrants. I would say this force is low because entrants have to go on a really large scale. Besides, as an established brand, Beyond Meat has a high incumbent advantage on its reputation, so it is not easy for entrants to step into this industry. Let's look at the right side. Grocery stores and restaurants are the major players, but there are no big buyers. So this is very favorable for a company like Beyond Meat. However, buyers' switching cost is very low. So here I would say the bargaining power of buyers is low to medium. On the left side, agricultural and food production companies are suppliers. We see all factors are low because suppliers don't have too much concentrations. So I would evaluate the bargaining power of suppliers is low. Moving to the threat of rivalry, I market it medium to high because the competition is fierce. Even though there are 22 plant-based meat companies in the United States now, Beyond Meat is majorly competing only with Impossible Food. Some experts even predict that Beyond Meat and Impossible is likely to develop into a duopoly market structure in the long run. But on the other hand, the market is booming. The volume of meat substitutes consumed in the United States increased about 65 million kilograms, and it is expected to grow over 250 million kilograms by 2026. Last but not least, there are mainly two substitutes. The stratum of substitutes are high because it was to know that in 2019, the meat substitute market was only 1.5% of the meat market. So there's still a long journey for plant-based meat to take the place of real meat. To conclude, if we connect the 5-force framework back to the value creation capture framework, we can see most of the forces are low or medium. So I think the plant-based meat substitute market is not very attractive, but incumbents like Beyond Meat should capture a lot of value. Now I will hand it over to Andrew to give you further analysis.
Thank you, Tina. We'll now analyze 5 different resources and capabilities for Beyond Meat that create economic values using the VARIO framework during the time where its competition in the plant-based industry is rapidly increasing. As shown here, the brand reputation and global partnership demonstrates Beyond Meat's temporary competitive advantage, but may not sustain long-term due to fast-growing competition in this market. For example, we're seeing one of its competitor, Impossible Foods, partnering with Starbucks and even Burger King offering plant-based pork patties in their breakfast sandwich and plant-based nuggets. This is just one small example of other competitors expanding through global partnership, which poses a temporary threat to Beyond Meat. However, through Beyond Meat's ability to offer menu customization, providing customers a diverse selection of plant-based menu At other fast food chains, it's inimitable, which makes it difficult for competitors to find equivalent substitute to compete with Beyond Meat. Additionally, Beyond Meat is a strong promoter of a long-term health and welfare animals, offering zero cholesterol for consumers with its use of natural source of pea protein, unlike its other competitors. This specialized expertise or even know-hows of using peas to give a fiber texture makes it even more difficult for competitors to imitate, which impacts on sustained competitive advantage for Beyond Meat. Next, Carmen will share Beyond Meat's current strategy, including buyers' willingness to pay in the next slide. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew. Beyond Meat's strategy has a two-part focus, one in the short term and one in the long term, so they can focus on what they need to in that particular time frame. In the short term, they want to increase the buyer's willingness to pay by increasing the amount of buyers. What I mean by that is, instead of Beyond Meat only focusing on vegetarians or people that do not favor meat, they want to focus on meat eaters as well to be a big portion of their sales. One way they did that is they want to put the product also in the meat section of grocery stores, and Whole Foods did adopt this in 2016. There's been continual innovation from Beyond Meat over the past several years, and one thing that they want to create is the question of, if we make a product good enough that you can't tell a difference, will you then focus on the healthiest option? Will you be more willing to try plant-based meat? And that kind of goes on. They want to tackle the stereotypes about plant-based meat for meat eaters. A lot of people that eat a lot of meat, especially with burgers and steaks, they want to do while they're grilling out. And Beyond Meat wants to create something that makes the same exact experience for that person. So they added grill marks so that when it comes off the grill, it looks the exact same. They also added imitation blood by using beet juice so that it looks the same, it feels the same. When you eat it, it is the same experience. And lastly, they want to have product differentiation. They don't only just want to have meat in burgers, and they've since added Beyond Chicken, they've added meatballs, they've added sausage, and they've filed for over 100 trademarks that go into the seafood aspect as well. And they want to cover all bases. So if you're a seafood eater, they'll have something for you. If you're a meat eater, they'll have something for you. And then in the long term, as they create these products, they're obviously going to have some stumbles along the way, but they want to learn from that and use the existing knowledge of those problems to lower R&D costs in the future. Next up is Melody. Thank you.
Thanks, Carmen. This is Melody. So on this slide, we'd like to discuss how Beyond creates margin in the value creation process, and what are some of the activities that support or hinder the strategies mentioned before. Overall, from Beyond's value chain review, we note that the firm has a relatively strong value creation steps in its operations, including solid inbound and outbound logistics of its raw materials and finished products. And the firm, on the other hand, is laser focused on its product improvement and has been investing in research and development continuously with the hope to not only to secure, but also to strengthen its competitiveness in the market. So what are some of Beyond's activities which supported the strategies? For example, as mentioned in the previous slide, Beyond's goal is to attract not only the vegetarians or vegan customers, but to venture into the meat eaters market in order to expand the customer base. With Beyond's goal of expanding its product to the overall protein market, the company has been emphasizing its marketing and sales effort to promote its healthier and plant-based options to the general market, as well as investing more in R&D to improve customer satisfactions with the aim of higher acceptance of Beyond's product to the general public. On the other end though, Beyond has a limited selections of pea protein product at the moment, mainly just the burger patties. While the company expands its business through different channels, the product selections is relatively weak comparing to its peers in plant-based as well as the animal protein market. Another weakness Beyond has is on its limited distribution channel for its product offering. The company has around 50% balance across retail and food services at the moment, but the sales from food service sector was not as desirable as expected, especially in a pandemic environment. But Beyond does have a joint venture agreement with PepsiCo to expand its distribution capacities, but perhaps the firm would want to rebalance distribution shares or consider working with other distributors to deliver its product and brand value. So for the next slides, we will talk about some of our recommendations for Beyond Meat.
Thanks, Melody. So in terms of our strategic recommendations, our core strategy is to maintain growth while sustaining our competitive advantage. And these are 3 recommendations that we have. So firstly, we want to continue to make strategic partnerships with major distributors. For example, recently in October of 2021, there was a partnership made with Panda Express, and we think we should continue to look at further options such as schools or meal kit providers, for example, HelloFresh, in order to increase market share and barrier to entry for competitors and reducing costs through economies of scale. Secondly, we think that Beyond Meat should look to launch a new product. So for example, fake fish. This would be attractive to restaurants that want to expand their current offering for vegans. And a lot of them already have a kind of vegan burger product, whether it's Beyond or Impossible or someone else. So I think a fake fish product could be a good option, given there's not much competition for that particular product right now. Finally, using attack ads against larger potential competitors. So an attack ad is like, for example, what Kind Bar did against Cliff Bar, where they had an advertisement that showed someone like pouring a bunch of sugar out of a Cliff Bar wrapper. So it's basically a way to show how, in some aspect, you're better than your competitor. I think this would be very effective against some of the larger organizations trying to move into this space, but who have maybe not such a positive history when it comes to issues like environmental or animal welfare. So Conagra would be an example of this. They're trying to enter as a competitor with their Garden brand, but I think the kind of customer that would be interested in the Beyond Meat product also has strong proclivity towards environmental and animal welfare issues. So a similar kind of ad campaign, maybe bashing the historical record of some of the larger companies, might be effective in keeping off larger potential competitors. That's all for our presentation. So thanks for listening, everyone, and I look forward to hearing your feedback. Thanks.